I spent 7 days in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. I stayed opposite a park near the centre of the city. On day 2, preparation for a travel show began in the park. These are some of the pictures I took in the park and around the city. Now, travel is mainly by motorbike, or perhaps bike. You can get 3 on a scooter. But they still stay in touch. This man is motorcycling along and yet looking at his mobile phone. And of course they carry their shopping. And their baskets. And flowers. And everything. This one is a bit blurred, but he's carrying a big parcel. This girl used a loud hailer, here it is, to grab your attention and sell things. I never actually worked out what she was selling or what people like her with loud hailers were selling. Some people carry their wares. This man gave me a try at carrying this thing. I nearly broke my shoulder. Other women carry things around, or other people carry things around to sell them. The temperature is 30 plus centigrade, so a good hat is essential. Here's another seller. And a food wagon. People carry a lot and drag a lot. Ho Chi Minh City used to be called Saigon. I just love this sign. Motorbikes are everywhere, but as you see, they're all coming in this direction, they're going in that direction, but so is she going in that direction on her bicycle. There are traditional buildings. Look at the architecture here and here. Here's a young man doing a fashion shot. I managed to get 3 shots of him. Very smart. People seem to crouch a lot. Brings them closer to what they're doing, I suppose. Now, you cross the road and the traffic will miss you. Here's a person crossing the road. They will go round her. On the zebra crossing, you just walk and don't worry. Here they've stopped for somebody, but perhaps there is a traffic light here that we can't see. Zebra crossings don't always work. Here's the Ho Chi Minh City Star. Now, building sites don't seem to be shut off from the public. I walked sort of this way on this building site. Here's another one, and I was able to walk almost into the middle of it and take photographs. Here's another one. See all the workers here and the crane. Again, the worker is trying to keep his or her head covered against the heavy sun. Look at this, a building site still, but the shops on either side were still open. This shop looked wonderful, a magic shop. When I walked past certain food shops, they had things like this, almost on the pavement, but I didn't always recognize what food it was on sale. Now this shop had a sprayed steam to keep the insects away from their fresh food, which was open, some of it, and hanging here. Workers, shoppers, together. There weren't barriers around things. College students, they are all inside, but their motorbikes obviously are parked outside. Again, somehow you have to protect yourself against this heat. You've got to keep cool in a temperature when some days it was 37 centigrade. The bus station is around here, around the back somewhere. The city had a war museum, and these were some of the things that were in the war museum. Here's an embassy. I came across this incredible tree. Look at the size of it. I don't know that well, here's a park bench and there's somebody sleeping on the park bench, but there's the tree by comparison with this person here. A Hindu temple. Now, I came across one road accident. Now, if you watch this, sacks fell off his motorbike in front of this bus. There they are. They were actually full of ice. The driver didn't go mad. He didn't go mad. The bus stops. The man picks up one of the sacks and walks back to his motorbike. The problems seem to get sorted in a relaxed fashion. He put the sack down, went back to get the second one. He bent down, put as much ice into the sack as he could manage, and then carried it back to his bike. The sacks go, the bus goes, the ice stays and melts. There it is behind the bicycle. The bus is going. The rider stacks the sack on his motorbike. Further attempts to get all of them on. He manages it just about, gets onto the bike, and off he goes. He leaves. All over in no time, no fuss, no bother. The remaining ice leaves too. And life goes on as usual. Of course, not everybody on Ho Chi Minh City's roads travels by two wheels. Now, I mentioned a pond earlier on. I mentioned a park. This is a pond in the park. I didn't understand what the boys were trying to catch. People played games in the park. Here's a foot shuttlecock game. school sent a class to practice badminton in the park. Here they all are. Here's the teacher. There's their rackets. Now, in the park, on my second day, they started to prepare for a travel exhibition. And so all the time in the park, while people were wandering up and down and playing games, they were building this structure. It just went on. They carried on building. Things were happening. A mother is working on an exhibition stand, puts the baby down. Well, I think he helps a little. Grabs something and gets back to mother. Perhaps father helps too. The security is organised for the park. More preparation. This was the children's area they were organising. Organising various stands and something on the pond. Meanwhile, people are cooking. More preparation. More. They're up trees. Around the outside of the park. And here we are, Viet Travel, preparing a travel show in the park. And I'm just allowed to walk around and take pictures. Nobody worries. And slowly, trees come along, all the parts, and we get to the point where the exhibition is taking place. And here they are, with the stands in working order. Still things are going on in and around the park. Free samples. All ready for the actual opening, which was about to happen. I arrived on Saturday night. They started on Monday, and I think they'd got it ready by Thursday. One of the nice things that happens in the park is that university students come up and ask if they could practice their English on you. This happened to me daily, twice daily. If you go past here, you come to the market, or to a market, and here's going to the market. I didn't always recognise this food either, but if you look at the girl, she's sitting in the middle of her stall. I thought it was chicken, but I wouldn't be. I recognise those as flowers. Going to market. Look at this. Somebody seems to have brought all of this to market on their scooter. Alright, there are large buildings around the place. You need a ride, sir? And of course, he'll take you on this while he parks that. Finding a pagoda. Now if you look here, there's a pagoda there. So you go down, get a bit closer and explore. But of course there are so many things that are interesting and exciting. I slept 3 times a day because of the heat, and other people feel much the same. Look at these people, these shopkeepers, these food stalls. I went into one supermarket. Here they are making alterations for people. I looked at some of this vegetable. I didn't really understand what it was. When I asked this boy here, he said it was baseball. I said, baseball? I don't understand baseball. But when I asked the supervisor, she said vegetable, and I understood. Supermarket, like any supermarket. You don't understand everything, but there it is. Now if you look here, they carry everything on scooters or trolleys and here you can see it. Look at the size of that. Look at the cable here. It's like cable in New Zealand. Some people worry about the pollution in the air, and so you see lots of people worrying about this and wearing masks. I went into the church. It was very crowded. I didn't really like taking photographs, so they're a bit blurred. If you get caught up in the rush hour, you see even more motorbikes. Here we are. I'm on a bus here. More about buses later. An ATM machine. There are guards against the ATM machines, watching over it. There it is, and there's a guard who sits at this desk watching it. People will sit and relax or sleep. Remember, it's very hot. Now, I got a taxi to the airport. From the taxi window, I saw a great deal. A person carrier, shops, more shops, statues, alleyways, government office, at least I thought it was. Some interesting building. I rode on a bus for 40 minutes for 6,000 dong. Now there are plenty of buses. But because there are so many scooters and motorbikes, then the buses are going to take a long time. This was on the way to the airport. Some people refer to ride side saddle. There are excellent hotels in Ho Chi Minh City. And there are hostels too. There was another person riding side saddle. Passing a pagoda. 1, 2, 3. It's the same pagoda. I'm not saying I'm seeing 4 or 5 of them. Alright, there are numbers of pagodas. And towards the suburbs. There are lots and lots and lots of side streets and shops. Interesting buildings. posters. There are police about. Right? There are security guards around. You feel safe in this city. Another pagoda. Interesting design. Another interesting design. This one looks as if it could do with a lick of paint. All of this is going towards the airport. You could hire your own scooter or motorbike if you wanted to. Here's a stadium. Almost at the airport. Right. My week in Ho Chi Minh City was wonderful. I'd recommend it to anyone who, 1, doesn't mind hot weather, 2, is confident walking through traffic. I'd booked a taxi from the airport when I arrived and the hotel when I left. Travel books warn you to beware of taxis you don't know. If you are happy to let students practice their English with you, then do so before 8 p.m. After 8 p.m, people approaching you have other things in their mind. Thank you.